Most people cannot answer the question, what's your purpose? So to the very few that can, they understand the power of having purpose and staying on track with that purpose, because that becomes everything. That's why you get up in the morning. That's why you put in the extra hours. That's why you grow, you keep learning. How can I improve myself so that I can help others improve themselves?
And unfortunately, so many people, either their lives are cut short and they never actually take that turn and intentionally pursue their purpose.
Yeah.
Or they just live in that state of like willful ignorance of their purpose.
You're here for a reason. That voice in your head that tells you this is who you are, this is your purpose.
Out west where the sun always beams bright, Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme, providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that gleam. BAM in Midland, building your dream. They teach the
Bam! So this is really cool because Mr. Ryan McGuire, Armic Systems.
That's
you
me.
Actually, the very first guest on our podcast when we first started many years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And it got lost to the hard drive gods. Took it.
Man,
You know?
it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah,
But
but it is now. And we are here, 2025.
Oh yeah.
5 years later,
A
still
lot
rolling.
of growth in between.
A lot of growth, a lot of change,
Oh yeah.
right? So tell me, Ryan, your journey, right?
Oh man.
You're a digital marketer, you're a web designer, you're a juggernaut here in the area.
Uh-huh.
And you've only been operating. How long have you been operating?
Since 2017. And technically, so we started as a software development company in 17. The first app didn't turn enough revenue for me to do it full time. I went to work for First Alert 7, then CBS 7
Right.
as their digital director of sales, but we kept the LLC. And after about a year and a half there, got back to Armic full time, turned it from software development into full scale digital advertising, and have been rocking and rolling in that form of the business for 6 years now. And it's
Nice.
it's been incredible. And so I was about a year in whenever we first tried this. We were in the middle of lockdown. We were talking earlier, recording on Zoom. I was in my office, which the entire office building that I was in was abandoned. I was the only guy coming into the office. So I guess I was still isolating because there was no one else around. And it's kind of spooky. There was a shop downstairs that had mannequins. And I would have to come in, and I still remember early morning or late night doing that early entrepreneurial stuff.
You have to pass by the mannequins.
Dude, pass by the mannequins, and I swear they were in different positions.
They were just messing with you.
They were messing with me, man.
You can definitely keep that on the table, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So that was an interesting time, right?
It was.
Yeah. So I do remember your app. It was a food app, right?
It was called Grubstar.
That's right.
Yeah, so it was exclusive deals and menu items at local restaurants and food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun. We had some of the early adopters of that are still around. Cliff's. So shout out to Cliff Hunt. He's actually the very first one that paid us. So the very first revenue that we had
It's from Cliff.
for Grubstar was from Cliff.
Nice.
And I'll never forget that. I think it was $40 or $45, but it meant the world to me.
For sure.
Anyway, so much fun. Got to know Eric Prado with Rooster and
Shout out to Eric and Didi.
oh man. Oh yeah. But it was a blast. And I really believe at the same time, actually shortly after we had launched that app, Uber Eats had introduced exclusive menu items for Uber Eats delivery.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of your delivery apps have experimented with over the years.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, it hasn't taken off, mainly because it puts strain on the kitchen at these restaurants to have a specific menu item just for an initially small subset of app users. So somebody might not even request it in a day. And it just didn't make sense for them to have it handy. But I look back on that idea, and the people that we had using it they loved it.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I tell people this, and I don't think we've ever talked about it. I was in the gym a year or two ago, And Grubstar, the app, was removed from the App Store, I want to say 2019, 2020. And about a year ago, I'm lifting at Crunch in Odessa, and what I assume to be a Permian kid comes in, and he's wearing a Grubstar shirt that I'd given out at our food truck parties, and is lifting it. And I'm like, that's cool. It's his gym shirt. So it's, but that is wild that somebody is wearing, repping Grubstar.
Yeah. That's awesome.
4 years after it's shuttering, or
right.
It's sunset. Yeah.
That's amazing. I have a similar experience. So back in another lifetime, I used to be a record and performing artist, right? So I made shirts, right? This was mid 2000s, right? Like 2004, 2005, maybe. So fast forward to like 2021-ish. We were in the pandemic.
Yeah.
My friend's nephew from Austin, I didn't know who he was at the time, right? But there was a connection with my nephew, right? So they were hanging out, and he's wearing my shirt. Where'd you get that? And then, oh man, my uncle or whatever gave it to me, and I was like, "Who's your uncle?" And then I was like, "Oh, okay, wow, that's wild, man." And it's worn. Like people, dude, I wear the shirt all the time, man. It's one of my favorite shirts.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
I love it.
Throwbacks, man.
Yeah.
So Armic Systems. So you named it Armic Systems because you were software development.
That's the systems part, is that we wanted to put systems in place that made everyday life easier, either for a consumer and somebody who would be downloading our app to use, or for a business who we would develop an app for either B2B relations or B2C. But that was the idea. It's just systems in place that are going to make your life easier.
Right.
And then the Armic part was a play on my name. And I designed the logo before I actually had the name. And somebody was like, "Oh, well, that's like armor." And I was like, "Oh man." And I'd been tossing around with my attorney, Brian Mackey.
Yeah.
Been tossing around the idea. He thought I should name it after myself. And I'm like, dude, people do that in the industry.
Yeah.
It's goofy to me. I don't want to do that. And long story short, when whoever it was that threw out that the logo looked like a shield and was armor, and we had said Armic at one point, and I thought, you know what? Okay, let's do Armic Systems.
Okay.
And I still at the time I wasn't in love with it, and we needed to file the LLC paperwork, and I needed a name.
Yeah.
Today I absolutely love it.
Love it. Yeah.
And it really does. It conveys. I recognized over time that my reason really for getting into this industry or to specialize in digital advertising is that I'd encountered so many people doing it poorly. And not only poorly for a lack of know-how or experience, but bad actors in this industry.
A lot.
And there's still so many to this day. And so I thought about this little design that I had created that I'd always loved, which was the heart inside of that shield icon, was that we were defending the clients that we served from those bad actors.
Yeah.
And that we could be just a shining light or an example of an agency that is focused on just doing what's best for the client and earning them business in a legitimate way.
Right.
And so I love the name now.
Right.
And
that's awesome because it all seems like it has multiple, because I never knew that. Right. So when I saw it, I know you're a man of faith. So I'm thinking Armic, with biblical sense,
right?
Armic Systems. That's what I always thought it meant, but I never had this conversation. So I didn't know.
Oh man. And I love that people could get that connotation from it, because that's a huge part of my life and journey too.
So it now fits. So good. So that shows that for business owners out there, right? Like your name and your brand, they matter, right?
100%.
It matters, just not because if you're running the day-to-day, if it doesn't resonate with you and you can't connect with it and you can't express yourself through that prism, because your logo is your prism. Right? Think about
100%.
that, right? Your logo is where you throw your light into that spreads out into the world, right?
I love that.
I just felt like SpongeBob there.
That's awesome.
But it's very true. And it is a thing that, because I do hear like, just put a name out, put the brand, it doesn't matter. Just go with it. Just start. I agree that starting is priority, right? But when you put your logo together, make it intentional,
Yes.
While also following some aesthetic guidelines.
100%.
Right? Because you want to be able for it to go on a shirt and look nice.
Exactly.
Gear, cap, a cup, right? You want it to be easy. It can't be too complicated and abstract. It has to be clear, right? There's certain things that you have to have in it, but the design itself must be intentional and connected to you.
Exactly.
Because, we rebranded recently.
Yes, and it looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that was something that I felt I needed to do to embody what I do, right? And how I felt about what I do, right? And to kind of reflect me in this journey, right? So now I do carry it like a badge of honor.
Yes.
Right? It's like your shield to you. That's your badge, right? Like, yeah, we're Arm Acceptance, we're rolling. I'm like, okay, this is my badge now. I feel confident in it and I feel good in it. And honestly, since I rebranded, it's made a world of difference.
Yes.
Right. And I don't know if that's because it's changed how I view. I'm sure it has. But I think it's also the perception of how we're viewed. Right.
It's both.
Right.
It's certainly both. Because, if you're confident in what you're putting out there, then whether you even recognize it or not, you're going to present in a different way.
Right.
And people will see your presentation and your renewed confidence and your empowered state, right? And recognize it in you, but they'll also see the same qualities in that redesign in the new brand. And so it's twofold.
Right.
And that's why, like you said, I really urge people. One of the things we come up against really over the last 3 to 6 months is people who throw a prompt into ChatGPT, they pump out or any AI generative platform, pump out 1 or 2 logo ideas and they just run with it.
Right.
They're like, cool, logo done. Saved me $300 to $1,000.
Yeah. Thank you, AI.
Right. And I've had some come across my desk that a client's ready to get printed. They want it on their website. And if you don't even look too closely, you see that letters are malformed. You see that it doesn't make any geometric sense. At the end of the day, it's asking a machine to do something that at the very least, you don't have to be a master artist to design a logo necessarily. Right. But you got to put some thought into
you really
intentionality.
Like intentionality. I think AI is great for coming up with variations and throwing, ideas that you might not have thought of.
Right.
That you can have a choice, a lot of different choices for super cheap. Right, because usually if you go to a designer and they're usually give you, okay, here's 3 ideas that I couldn't have came up with. Well, now you can have 20
in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Right.
Real quick. So
use it as part of the process.
Yes.
But not the end result.
100%.
This episode of BAM BizTalk is brought to you by Flash Mobile. Whether you're managing your business, chasing your dreams, or just handling life on the go, Flash Mobile gives you nationwide for GLTE coverage. No contracts and total freedom, all at a price that makes sense. Activate your plan in minutes. Bring your own device. Stay in control wherever life takes you. Contact us and make the switch today. And now let's get back to today's show.
So what I teach AI seminars and classes, and one of the concepts is the split Pareto principle, right? The Pareto principle, 80-20 rule?
Yes.
So split Pareto is the human, you put in your prompt is your initial 10% contribution, right? Then you have AI do the heavy lifting, and then you come back for the final 10, 15, 20, whatever that balance is, right? And to put the final human touch on it, right? So prompt it, and really, if you really dig in your user, you'll know that it's iterative, that you're in it constantly through. So that 80% is really split up, that those 20% is integrated in through the rest of it, right? So you're putting in, it's coming back, and you're going back and forth. It's a conversation that you're having. And then at the end, now you put your actual human magic on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That has to be part of the process. That iterative nature of it is critical to explain to people, especially when they're just getting started. And especially when they're using it as a search engine or if they're trying to verify information.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, like there's going to be some inconsistencies.
Yes.
You can train your algorithm.
Yeah.
Or your AI, it's not algorithm based. I'm so used to operating in that world in marketing. The algo, man. Yeah. But there really does need to be some effort on your part to ensure that the results you're getting are quality and that they aren't plagiarized.
Yes.
And
yeah,
because I've read, and what I believe the model did was take from a variety of sources. This is specifically for a sermon that I heard preached, and I found with no direct quoting that the way that this sermon flowed. I read a lot of books and I read a lot of like Christian literature. And I realized that the sermon was essentially 3 concentrated summaries of popular Christian commentaries. And they used some of the same, they came to the same conclusions. They used some of the same verbiage outright. And I asked, and I wasn't asking with the intention of like, hey, did you just steal these guys' work and not credit it? And they're like, oh no, I use chat as part of my process to ensure that I'm reviewing it. I was like, okay, well, is chat like giving sources or anything? And like, oh no, it's just helping me think through the ideas. And so what I recognized was what they believed that ChatGPT was giving them as original ideas or response to what they had prompted. It was a response to what they had requested, but it was taken almost directly from existing works. And that's okay. I mean, and they were taken for a reason. Those are 3 phenomenal authors, phenomenal books. And the message was fantastic, but it was just I thought, man, this doesn't seem typically, if you have read, we were talking about The Art of War earlier. And if you've read The Art of War, you're going to say, oh yeah, in The Art of War, it says so and so and so. If you were to use a quote from it without saying from The Art of War, I would just assume, okay, well, they heard it before. Anyway, what I'm getting at, you just got to be careful.
Got to be careful.
And it's not intentional. There's no ill will there on behalf of the user. But it still is sourcing information that probably should be credited to a different source.
No, 100%. We're stepping into a new time to where, like you said before, The Art of War, read a book, and usually you're supposed to cite so-and-so says, right? They came to this conclusion, and then you're talking around what that point that they already brought. Right. But now it seems like, and you said unintentionally, right? Like we're starting to quote just random, like and taking it like it's ours. So there is something there that, do we lose a lot of like before the world of AI, before there was purely coming from the mind of a person. Right. Their pure art works, their literature works, whatever it is.
And there were things that were derivative.
Always.
There are plenty of books that have, reiterated The Art of War as an example and applied it to different things. But it's still, it's not the same as this haziness that we have about attribution at the moment.
So this, I love this AI track, right? So what have you noticed? I know you brought up the logos, right? People bring logos, but in the marketing world for digital, how is AI impacting your industry?
Oh man. So there are a lot of ways that AI is impacting. Several, actually, in the midst of COVID is the first time that the advertising platforms that we utilize started implementing AI tools. Meta was one of the first, and they had their AI insights and AI optimizations. And those are still available today.
For sure.
And they are, at the beginning, the majority of the time I would turn them off because they were either very off-brand for the clients that we were working with, or they were using verbiage that just sounded very robotic and strange. These days, about 50% of the time, we leave it on because it sounds good. And it's quality. We have tools that make slight adjustments that clients want. Like one of the best examples I have is we had a client, he had a photo taken, a headshot in front of the flag, but he didn't like, and I can't remember what specific part of the flag that he was covering, but he wasn't happy. He wanted more of the flag to be visible.
Right.
So if in the past taken potentially hours of Photoshop work, we used, actually it was Canva's photo, like I think they call it AI scissors or something like that. But we literally dragged and dropped him to a new place in the photo.
And it filled in the back.
Perfectly filled in the back, because it's just stars and stripes.
Yeah.
Right. And it perfectly filled it. You would have no idea that he was originally standing at a completely different position in front of that flag.
Yeah.
And it took me about a minute to complete.
Amazing.
It was insane.
Yeah.
We're seeing AI optimization. So whereas in the past, a lot of let's say you launch an ad campaign on Google and they've got their algorithm. So between your professional or yourself going in there and manually observing how your ads are performing and whether you ought to make adjustments, their algorithm is working in the background to make adjustments for you and target the users that you're trying to reach, right? Well, now a lot of that targeting is AI based instead of algorithm based. And similarly, similar to what I was talking about with Meta, in the early days, we were still using algorithm based optimization wherever possible, unless the advertiser, the platform was forcing you to use AI, because the AI just wasn't doing as good a job. 2025, about half the time, again, we're using AI instead because it's doing really solid work. And I believe, so that's a 5-year gap. I bet in the next 2.5 years, we're going to have a similar jump in what AI is able to do for optimization and data analysis. And it really, it's crazy what it's doing in marketing. The one thing that I don't believe that it's done yet, and that I'd argue it likely will never do, is entirely replace humans, skilled
marketers.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something in the SEO world that you're seeing a lot of right now. And I'm forgetting the two big power players, but their pitch is essentially, hey, you're paying an agency $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $8,000 a month to get you to rank on Google. You can subscribe to our AI software for $150 a month, plug it into the back end of your website, and it's going to do everything that your agency was doing.
Wow.
And there are tasks, very menial tasks, that it can do possibly better than a human because of its speed and resources available. But there's a lot that it's not doing yet.
Right. And that's a discussion that's out there right now. It's like, okay, how many jobs are going to get replaced? Right. And I don't see it as so much as replaced. Now, there's a big difference here in who you are as a company. So if you are this huge agency that's already bloated, corporate, you have more managers than you have actual people that are doing the work. Yeah. You know, when you implement AI, it's going to cut a lot of that out.
Yes.
Right. That's what it's going to make a company more efficient. So yeah, are the jobs going to be lost? Yes, absolutely. But if you're a startup, if you're a 1 or 2, 3 person, 5 person show right now, that AI is leveraging every one of you, right? Every one of them can leverage AI to, now you look like a 20 person team.
Right.
And you're putting out the work of a 20 and able to keep the quality if you keep the human in the loop.
Yes.
Right. Because I'm seeing that the AI is going to replace the management sector first. Right. You have the owner operator. Okay. Gets to a certain point of growth to where, okay, I need a manager to manage these departments. Right. Well, AI can do that. Right.
Yes.
If the owner can tell the AI, make that happen. Right. Then that closes the gap between the skilled workforce and the visionary, the owner, right? There's a lot that's to be made more efficient.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be the huge shift that we're going to see here pretty soon. It's already happening.
Oh, yeah.
But like point to skilled marketers, right? I think people that are skilled and have years of experience in doing whatever it is they do, they're still going to be in high demand. And if there's the concern is always the next generation coming up, right? What are they going to do now, right? Like, what are they going to go to school for?
Right.
Right? Like, unless you're going for being a doctor, something that's, skilled, right? Healthcare, all healthcare. Yeah. If your purpose is to serve and help people in the healthcare field, go to school, straight to school. Do not stop, right? Engineering, go to school, right? And be a doctor, a dentist, right? Go to school, right? Go get to school.
Right.
But don't go get an economics degree.
Right.
Don't get a political science degree.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
There was a time.
Disconnect. There
was a time where, as long as you have a degree, you'll find a job somewhere because it didn't matter. But now, no, because they were hiring you because you were a warm body and they need somebody to fill and take care of some stuff. Great. You had a career, right? But now that's not the case anymore. No. So definitely get into a skill set, build skills.
Yes.
Right. The internet set up for it.
Right. Yeah. You can take courses from, oh my gosh, Ivy League universities for free.
Wow.
You're not going to get a degree. In some instances, you might get a free certification from some of these organizations.
Yeah.
And you have power players like Google, and I always throw this out. I probably said this in the 2020 interview that was lost, but Google has free certification programs for advertising, for analytics, for essentially anything Google related, like software.
Yeah.
There's a certification that Google will allow you to take for free. And you can show people like, hey, I am a Google certified this or that. Dude, I think 2 other people in our market that are Google certified. And I've been basically taunting other people in our industry, specifically for Google Ads certifications, to get them. Get certified. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it puts me on a different level than the people that are not certified, purely because you have these certification programs that are coming directly from the source. They're updating it with the latest information. You have to get recertified every year.
Yeah.
You have to pass a 100-question test to get certified. But at the end of the day, it's easy and it's free. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you'll pay the opportunity cost for things that you could have accomplished had you taken the time and gotten that certification.
Right.
Specialization and developing your skills is going to become more and more important because those that aren't willing to do it are now competing not with other people that aren't willing to do it, but with people that are being assisted by Chat GPT and other AI assistants. So the playing field, kind of the floor has been lifted.
Yeah.
Because if so many people that I know are using AI to this day, or right now, like my parents are using chat now.
Nice.
They are some of the least technological people that I've known, in my entire life. And I've known them
your whole life.
And, but no, they're using chat and they're using it, fairly proficiently.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary in a sense because I'm like, man, everybody is using it.
Yeah.
It's not a generational thing, but something that I want to mention, and it carries from what you said about the importance of finding something and pursuing it and, developing your skills.
Yeah.
I truly believe, my wife and I were talking about this yesterday, with how many people we know that their default is, let's just ask chat. Like, chat's got the answer.
Right.
The critical thinking skills that allow you to pivot in business when things aren't going according to plan, that allow you to communicate effectively, especially if somebody says something that you're not expecting them to. Those skills are going to start evaporating, especially in our younger generations, if they're over-reliant on AI assistants. And so your truly successful people that come from those generations are going to be those that, yes, they can use AI and they ought to, but they can't depend on it for everything. And that's something, tying it back to marketing, what we're recognizing right now is if you're trying to appeal to the younger demographic, let's say you're running a Snapchat campaign, your primary demo is ages 13 to 21. You want to give them answers. So let's just say I was just talking with a client earlier this week, and it's an oil change place. If you were marketing to an older an older demographic. You're going to talk about how the business is family owned, how it's been in the market for 56 years.
Yeah.
How it's, we do things the old fashioned way, full service,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. You're going to appeal to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Younger, let's just say millennial, maybe some older Gen Z, I don't know, but mainly millennial.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about cost and you're going to talk about reviews. It's social proof.
Right.
We have 1,000 5-star reviews on Google.
Right.
Come in and see us. It's going to be quick, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
The younger generation right now, and this has probably always been the case, but it's especially so right now, they want to know that when they go to your place of business, they're not going to look like a fool and not know what to do, because they are used to asking and receiving an answer
Immediately. Yeah.
And so the way to advertise to them, and yes, cost is something to consider because a lot of them are budget strapped and they're young, right? But you want to tell them, hey, when you get here, don't worry about a thing. We're going to take care of you. You're here for an oil change. Pull up. We got it from there. All you got to do is get here. Make it as easy and really decision-free as possible.
Right.
Because they're not used to making decisions as frequently as other generations have. And that sounds negative. Love this upcoming generation.
Yeah.
There are things, I get to work with the youth at our church every now and again. And I have, young nieces and nephews, and I have daughters that are growing up, but they have been put in this position with our reliance on tech, especially post-COVID, where there are skills and communication methods and just things that they aren't accustomed to yet and that they haven't begun to develop. And so it's crazy. You're going to begin to see, if you pay attention to marketing trends, the way to reach these younger crowds is going to be just making things as simple as possible, because that's just what they're used to.
Right.
You could argue that there's not a problem in that. My fear is that this is another thing I was discussing recently. I want to know the long term. We know that with dementia and senility in general, that a lot of times you can put off the effects of dementia, for example, by working your brain,
right,
by doing
problem
Sudoku puzzles and problem solving, and whatever your methods might be. If you're playing very strategic video games, that works. Playing board games, working. That's why so many people, when they retire, they start to go downhill very quickly in multiple arenas of their health. Is that they're just not. They don't have to think anymore. They don't have to be physical anymore. I wonder truly, as we begin to become more tech dependent, the long term, if we're going to see dementia start earlier, if we're going to see its effects take hold in a deeper way for these future generations, because they're not doing as much critical thinking. They've got tools that are amazing, but that can be over relied on and put them in a situation where they're not having to make decisions the majority of their day. And as a result, their minds are just dim.
So that is definitely a worry, right? It is, because there's one thing that I do preach is never just copy paste, like, ask chat a question, pops it. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Throw it up.
Yeah.
Right. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. Right. Because we can tell.
Oh yeah. I've received emails that were supposedly from clients, and I see the prompts are still there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay. Like, do what you need to do, but like, delete the prompt.
At least make it look like
golly.
But the critical thinking part, I think it's in the education and the use of AI, right? Because if we're not taught how to prompt and how to have to be logical to the AI, right? Because your prompt has to be really precise. There's certain techniques to prompting to get the best results.
Yes.
And the better you put your prompt in, the better results you're going to get. Right.
Exactly.
And then the best follow-up questions can get you to critically think, right? The human in the loop, right? In mine, and you could, this is a freebie here, right? You can say, commit the following to memory, right? follow-up questions, right, in a logical order of double verify, right? Ask me 3 questions at a time, chain of thought thinking. And you can tell your AI to commit it to memory. So every time you prompt it, it's going to prompt you with 3 follow-up questions. What do you exactly mean by this, right? It'll ask you, would you prefer this or that, to everything you do. So you're automatically in the conversation mode and you're automatically iterating with your AI from the very beginning.
I love that.
Instead of you having to remember, oh yeah, no, I need to ask it to double verify if that's a fact, right? It's going to do it on its own if you pre-command it to.
Wow. I love that. I didn't know that trick. And man, that's something that I admire about you, is that from day one, and this has been like, this is our first conversation actually about AI personally, but no matter what it is that we discuss, you have a heart for educating people and for assisting them. And it's a genuine desire for their well-being. And I think just the well-being of our community, everybody. And that's what you're doing with BAM. That's what you and Michael had just envisioned from the forefront. And dude, that's just something that we need a lot more of.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, man, I'm just seriously, because it's so encouraging. Because I'm dead serious, man. I am very concerned about the impact of AI on our youth, especially.
Yeah.
And to hear you, as someone that I know gives instruction in usage of AI, say something that I believe will make a positive impact on people's use is very encouraging. And so, and that's not to mention what you're doing with teaching people flow state and different things, man. So not to, like glaze the host. And that's something that I want to talk to you about is glazing with AI.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say that, man, because it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's you're right. It's the community, right? Like you're part of that. I see you out there and you're giving seminars, you're teaching marketing, Oh yeah. Like that's what we do, and that you're doing it for a genuine, authentic place from your heart to give and to improve other people. Right. And like, we're not gatekeepers.
No.
So that is, I think by example, like to our younger generations, we are the example now. Right. We have to be that example. Right. There's other people in this community that they're our examples. Right.
Oh yeah.
The internet, so many examples. Right. The problem is, which ones do you really?
Right. Yeah. They're probably 10 bad examples for every good example.
Yeah.
And that's in life too. That's why so many of our youth struggle is they're not seeing proper behavior modeled at home. Mm-hmm. And they don't have community, especially now, as we've lost that third place, as families aren't going to church or they're not going to, like Moose Lodge or all of your other traditional gathering places where children could socialize outside of school and see positive behaviors modeled in adults. They're at home and alone for the majority of the time.
Dude, that's such a great point. I just, was it a podcast? I can't remember if it was a podcast. It probably was. They were talking about just what you said, right? Because back in the day, every family was involved in some organization in the community. Moose Lodge, Lions Club, the Optical, what's the Optimist Club?
Yep. A bowling league. Doesn't matter, right?
Just you're involved in something, right? That you are a way where it tethers you directly to your community.
Yes.
There's some involvement there. And all those organizations are still around, right? But not at the level that they used to be, and I think you're right. I think this, because the pendulum shifts, right? It goes to extremes, goes back and forth. And I think we're going to end up coming back, especially as AI progresses, because now the AI wars, kind of the dust is settling
right
a little bit, right? There were thousands of AI companies, and now they're zeroing in on the survivors, right? And then there's the big dog, right? There's OpenAI and there's Manus and Perplexity and all these other companies that are taking their market share.
Oh, right? Yeah. Gemini is winning a lot.
Gemini.
I forget what Microsoft's is. I know they've worked.
Copilot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then there's Grok.
Yeah.
And
Elon's going to force that. Their video AI is crazy. as much as I hate AI art, Grok's video production is wild for free use.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for theirs
To an extent, right?
Yeah.
You get a certain amount of time or something, right? Yeah.
Or 5 prompts, something crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's and I do believe, like you said, pendulum shifts.
Mm-hmm.
We will see as people become, as our iPad kids, that a lot of us refer to those kids who go home, their parent hands them that iPad and they're stuck on that until they go to bed.
Yeah.
They will crave human connection.
Yeah.
And as a result, when they're able to make decisions of their own, and they find each other.
Right.
It might be awkward at first. I'm used to communicating with.
Talk to another person in real life, though.
Right. Like hold something in front of their face as an avatar.
Somebody was commenting that a lot of the McDonald's and the Chick-fil-A's and the Burger Kings, they don't have playgrounds anymore.
Right.
And even the McDonald's have a place where they have a pad.
Yep.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. We just, in the pursuit of convenience and data, because a lot of the times the reason that you're seeing transitions from traditional ordering systems, which you can get data from your point of sale, but you don't have the exact same quantity of data as if you allow the user to select things themselves. So like the depth of data that McDonald's can get from one of those giant screens where you can order by yourself versus standing in front of a clerk and them inputting your order is actually day and night. You wouldn't think it. But, and I don't know if McDonald's is using ocular heat mapping.
I was going to just suggest that. That's probably what they're doing.
That's one of the things that you can do. I've got clients, e-commerce specifically, that have used ocular heat mapping. It's like, okay, the data, determining where people are clicking is very important.
Yeah.
But what are they actually looking at on the page? And what are they, what is their eye straying away from? And it's insane, the difference, because you'll see, photos that you think are in an awkward position that users are not going to pay attention to. Sometimes you'll be surprised and it's like, dang, that heat map is popping off. They love that photo. Yeah. Other times, an area of the site that you think flows perfectly, people are looking in all the wrong places. And it's like, whoa, okay, we've missed the mark somehow. Yeah. It's wild. So that ocular heat mapping, you might not know it, but if you have your camera permissions installed on your phone, and it's well, I was about to say it's not being done without your permission, but in a sense it is. Someone's reading the terms. Right. And you don't have to know when your front camera is on. There's not an alert that tells you the camera's being used. Right. So ocular heat mapping is a real thing. There are clients that we work with, none of them based out of West Texas, but we have some clients from across the country that are larger that use that ocular heat mapping. So just know like what you're looking at. Right. Even if you're not interacting, like they don't necessarily know, Angel is sitting at his computer and looking at this. They don't have the personal data to compare, but they know what you were looking at. Right.
Starting a business isn't about logos, especially luck. It's about building a foundation that lasts. The Business Accelerator Blueprint by BAM Ventures gives you a proven 5-step system to launch and scale in 90 days. From entity formation and branding to cash flow systems and growth, this blueprint takes you from scattered to streamlined. Don't guess your way through business. It's not the way to go. Build it in a smart way. Call BAM Ventures, your business sidekick, 432-247-8841. And let's lock in your blueprint on the pathway to success.
The BAM BizTalk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on. At Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
We're drawn.
So it's in the opt out, right? You have to go in and specifically toggle it off.
Yeah, specifically opt out. There are a lot of opportunities to opt back in, often without your recognizing that was an opt-in.
Yeah.
So often, if you even so much as submit a contact form on a website, you are opting into any communication and any tracking that they might have.
Right.
There are agreements essentially in every step of your interaction with a company online where they can say that you have agreed.
You agreed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to, it's not like the same as signing a contract and they're going to be able to debit money from your bank account or something. But online privacy is not, and really with the influx of Ring cameras and monitoring and security, there's not a moment of your day unless you're very intentional about, walking into a closet and shutting the door behind you, that you're not being monitored in some shape or form.
Right.
Now, it sounds scary.
Right.
I personally, and this is something I think we were talking about, Angel, before we started recording, I don't opt out of really any type of monitoring.
Yeah.
Because just the state of the world that we live in right now. I want the ads that I'm served to be catered to me.
Yeah.
I want the content that I see to be catered to me.
Yeah.
And so if I give as much information as possible, short of my social security number, and,
right, it's a blood sample.
Exactly, I'm all for it. And that's something I get. We'll have clients say, "Hey, everybody's using ad blockers these days. Like, why would I pay for online advertising?" And I was like, okay, so I assume that you saying that, like, you probably use them.
Right.
Like, why are you using those ad blockers? Oh, well, the ads never make sense. Like, I haven't gone to McDonald's in 35 years, and I don't intend to. And I always saw their ads before I turned on those ad blockers. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, were you opting out of cookies online? Well, yeah, I don't want to be tracked. I'm like, okay, well, the reason you're seeing irrelevant ads is that you're not giving anybody the opportunity to serve you relevant ads. So the reason the experience is so negative for you is you've opted into that experience.
Yeah.
You don't want them to know what you're interested in, so you're not going to get what you're interested in.
Yeah.
I don't mind ads, and I wonder if I'm biased because I'm in marketing, and
Right.
I've always been interested in marketing.
Yeah.
But I love seeing ads because the vast majority of the time it's something cool that I want to consider.
Right.
It's meant for me, and I'm like,
Right.
heck yeah.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
Plus, with the marketer's eye, you're like, okay, what did they do in this ad?
True.
Yeah, like how are they getting my attention? And why did they get my attention? Now, how can I implement that with a client of mine? That idea of how they got the attention with this particular company. Now, you're able to re-articulate your client's sponsored ad.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So
Man, it's fun talking shop. I want to shout out Current Media Partners. They're an agency here in Midland that I get to do a lot of work with. It's Brittany Mann and Christy Calico.
Yeah.
And we get to talk it's so cool because we each have our own agencies and we work on a lot of mutual clients, and we talk shop, and it's so fun to, like, hey, did you see this cool thing that this advertiser is doing? Like, oh my gosh, we could replicate that here. And man, it's so fun. And I know that exists in every industry.
For
if
sure.
you find good people that are doing what you're doing,
Right.
and you're able to talk the
Yes.
business, it's mutually beneficial,
Right.
and it benefits the clients that you work with.
Right.
Because y'all are just sharpening each
Man,
other. Man.
yes, you're right. You're sharpening each other.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of, the whole competition thing,
Yeah.
right? You can see that, they're competitors. So, I'm going to, put my shield up and block.
Right.
Right. Or I'm going to, this is a war we're fighting. But competitors collaborate, work together.
Yeah.
Like you said, it makes you both better. Now you're able to serve your clients better. And the number one rule is there's plenty out there.
Exactly.
Right? Because one company, one agency can only take on so much.
Right.
You know, of course, yeah, they can grow, but there's still a limit, you know, in the number of people that are around, available to actually serve, you know. So this is a good conversation for us. I've recently been redoing everything in my marketing completely, and it's little incremental changes that I'm making are starting to move the needle, like in a really way that I haven't seen before. And I think, well, I know because of tracking that the reason for that is that I'm starting to niche down, right? Mm-hmm. And then creating your ICP, right? Your ideal customer profile. Doing that first and foremost is like vital to having an effective marketing campaign, right? Or just your messaging in general, because who are you talking to? Right? Who is it that you're talking to? Because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
Yes.
Right? So as a marketer, right, you're talking to your one ideal customer. You know, like what kind of style, what style of clothes do they wear mostly? What do they have for breakfast? You know, get granular.
Yeah.
Right? The more granular you can get, the more you're going to start talking to people like, he's talking to me. Right, like when you're in a sermon or something, you're at church, and you know just up there talking, looks like he's talking directly to you. You're like, oh, is anybody else looking at me? Because he's talking directly to me.
Just use my name. You're
But I think that speaks to the human experience. You know, we're here, and we feel alone, right? Like, yeah, we have close relationships, people that love us, but at the end of the day, you're going out alone, right? But that connection that we're all sharing a common experience runs really deep, right? And keeping the humanity throughout our technological, you know, exponential growth here, like this is a wild time to be alive.
It is.
Wild time to be alive, you know? Like I was going to bring this up earlier. You said your parents are using ChatGPT now, right? And that's phenomenal, right? Because it's so impactful, and they see it. They see the magic of it, right? Like cell phones, like we have now as cell phones. 30 years ago, that was just not possible.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't even be thinking about it.
No, not a thing, right? Until Steve Jobs brought it out. No, we're gonna have buttons on the glass, on the glass. On the glass. What are you talking about? Make it happen, right?
Yeah.
Now it's ubiquitous, right? Now, if you see somebody with a flip phone and buttons, that's intentional.
Right.
They want that, right? Yes. It's a choice, right? But the 200 years ago would have been magic, a concept of a television, right? Pictures, you know, anything that's you know, the film, just film itself, that was magic. And now what we're experiencing today, it's this magic, you know. So, but forward 10, 20 years, it's going to be ubiquitous, like literally, well, you know, it's hard to imagine, but
it is.
Like we won't have all these cables. And things will be so much like it'll be embedded in us. We could probably say, ready to do a podcast? Maybe sitting at a park bench. Yeah, let's do a podcast. Click.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
High quality, good sound.
Edited for you. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's I just saw, so I've worn an Oura ring for the last probably 18 months. And I love it. It's given me insights into my health. And for those that don't know, it's a wearable device. Yeah. You have to keep it charged every week, basically. But it monitors your heart rate, monitors your sleep patterns, monitors your steps. There's an app that it's connected to. You can take pictures of your meals and it'll estimate calories.
Oh,
it does all those things for $400 and a monthly subscription. Sounds like a lot. For what it does, it's phenomenal, right? I can't imagine not wearing one at this point, because I feel like I have a firmer idea of my health than I ever have. It'll tell you if you're sitting there and it's a high stress day, it's like, hey, take a break. Your heart rate's been accelerated for 15 minutes. Like, you need to chill out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's wild. I just learned, so Oura and there are a lot of competitors now, but
Yeah.
they are opening a manufacturing facility next year in Fort Worth.
Oh.
And the reason for that, and I don't know exactly the logistics, but their largest customer is the Department of Defense. And basically every armed service
It's going to get one.
person is, they already have one or they're going to get one. My sister-in-law is the, oh man, and I feel so bad, I always mess it up. I want to say National Guard, but it might be Reserve. It might be Army Reserves.
Yeah.
And forgive me, Mitch. But she got an Aura and had the ability to order for her family. And I saw just a day or two ago, the RFK had said as part of his MAHA, Make America Healthy Again initiative, he would like to see every American wearing some type of wearable. He didn't give a timeline on that.
Yeah.
But that would have alarmed me had I not already had one. I've been like, why are you wanting to track all our biometric
that's the first
data?
thought that popped in my head.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it does have location services. So, I mean, that is kind of, depending on how you feel about being monitored, that might freak you out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the implications of us having a firmer idea of our health at any given moment, it even has a wellness feature. If it thinks that I'm getting sick because of changes in my heart rate and different things, right? It'll give me an alert. It says like, hey, your immunity appears to be down, or
Wow.
Yeah. And there's been one time, so I've been sick 3 times since I've had this ring. It caught it once. So the other 2 times, I don't know, for one reason or another, whatever I had didn't change my body in a way that it thought I was getting sick.
Right.
But just the idea, and it's supposed to do this possibly before you even start exhibiting symptoms.
Yeah.
Because it's recognizing those first changes in your
Right.
intern. Yeah. It's crazy. Talking about wearables, I was mentioning wearables for a reason, and it was something that you had just said.
Let me see, where were we?
Oh, things that you wouldn't even think of,
Yeah.
in the near future.
Right.
I believe that every American with a wearable will very likely be a reality in 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Not because it's been mandated or the government's issued them for free, but everyone will see the benefits of having an ongoing idea of your well-being, and they're gonna those devices. Parents are gonna buy them, or adult children are gonna buy them for their parents.
Yeah.
So that in addition to a life alert or whatever they have to call if they need help, you can see, oh wow, mom's heart rate just skyrocketed. Maybe I ought to check on her.
Right.
Hey, my son is disconnected, or it's just that he's wandered off 15 miles from where he's supposed to.
And you get a ping.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I see the positive ramifications of us having these wearables are huge.
Absolutely. It's going to be like we're all Stark.
Right.
Hey Jarvis, blah 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 blah. Because it's funny, and I would love to just start talking without having to go to my phone and activate it to have the conversation. Because a lot of times on the way in, I have a 30-minute drive to my office and back home every day. Right. I often have conversations, brain dumps into my AI. I'll just sit there and say, okay, what we got going on, and I just start talking about this client, or this project, what's going on here, and I'm just dumping everything out. Just basically like just getting out of my head, and then I formulate, okay, what are the top 3 things I need to accomplish today? And by the time I get to the office, I'm like, okay, I know what I got to do. Or on home, okay, this was today, this is what I got to set up and do tomorrow, this is what the week looks like, right? So,
I love it.
And then sometimes it's just, I'm trying to brainstorm a concept, and it's when I'm alone in my car. I got 30 minutes to just. So I would love to just be driving and say, "All right, Jarvis," and it activates, and now we're going.
Yep.
I can't wait till Siri gets smart. Oh, she's so dumb right now. Siri is such an idiot right now. I get so frustrated. I just turned her off. I can't hear anymore.
I don't use Google's. I have a Pixel. I have for a few generations.
Yeah.
And Gemini it's not in it for me yet. I don't use Google's Assistant.
Yeah.
That same reason. There's just, yeah.
I'm like, what is that? I mean, come on, guys. You like implement AI in there. You're not using AI, or what's the
right?
way,
That is a weird disconnect, and I've tried to figure that out. I'm like, I don't know if they refused to get rid of their voice algorithms that they had spent time building, but it doesn't seem like they're hanging up on anything else. Like there's so many other tools that they're just completely replacing with Gemini.
Yeah.
But there is this disconnect with voice assistants right now.
I wonder why they don't feel it's good enough yet or something. I have no idea. Like there's got to be something there though, right? Because if anybody, I would have thought Apple would have done it.
Right.
Especially Google, because Google is usually quick to cut something.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They'll experiment. Okay, great. No, not working. Cut it.
Yeah, think about Google Plus. They were all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Hey, we're entering the social media.
All of a sudden,
yeah,
gone.
I mean, it was out of beta for like a year and a half. And
nobody jumped on it. You know, not in any significant way. So they have a problem cutting things. So yeah, there's something there. What disconnect?
Right.
That's interesting. Kind of throw around because these are the main players, right? Google with DeepMind really kicked off this whole AI journey that we're on right now, right? Back in what 2013, 2012 was it? They that paper, the Google 7, right? Wrote a white paper on AI and how it's large language models.
Yeah.
The paper on large language LLMs. And ever since then, it's just been off to the races. You know, so think about that. That was, I think, am I right on the timeline? I wish I had a young Jamie here. Hey, young Jamie, can you check that? That's what I need. I need some verification. So if you guys could verify that, what year was that? I'm thinking 2012, 2013.
That sounds right.
Right?
Yeah.
Feels so.
Yeah, because it was post smartphone.
Yes.
And it's just crazy.
Yeah, how much it's gone so advanced. You know, where is it going? Is I don't think anybody knows.
I know.
You know, and you talk to some of these quantum computing guys. So interesting, little funny. I went to Capital Factory in Austin a couple weeks ago, and I was talking with a quantum physicist who's starting a tech company. He was this young kid, really just scrawny kid, and he was talking about his project and how he's using quantum computing to make it happen. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting, right? Like, he could have been like 18, 17. He was a super young kid, right? But you could tell he's extremely smart, right? And the quantum computing aspect is mind-boggling. You know, so it's compute calculations that a normal computer will burn out before it finishes the calculation.
Wow.
It will overheat.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And if it were able to remain stable, it would take years to do the computations.
What are these even, like, what are these computations? Like,
I mean, really intense, like on a cosmological scale, right? Or in scale to where, you know, Ant-Man world, basically, you know, where there's so more, right? Oh, they actually make,
Quantumania, the third Ant-Man.
which is great. But so the quantum computing, they're saying, delves into that realm. You know, it's so microscopic that it's enormous.
Wow.
It's almost like the inverse of our physical reality out here, right? Because we have Earth, Sun, then all those billions and billions of stars out there that we have no idea really, you know, what's really out there. We're starting advanced. So interesting. So before we just had the telescope, right? We're starting to listen and look at with different variations of the lights and the spectrum. That now we're able to really tell, starting to see more clearly our cosmos.
Wow.
So we're at a primitive state as far as that goes. We're just scratching the surface of what's out there, right? Because as far as we know, it's infinite.
Right. Yeah, and still expanding.
And
right? So that's that infinite part is just, it's wild. I think of it a lot. I think it was C.S. Lewis had spoken. It was in Mere Christianity. He was talking about the argument against a creator. And that it's just beyond what we can conceptualize, that there would be a being that's omniscient and that can be 3 in 1 if you believe in like the Christian Trinity.
Yeah.
And And he talked about how, okay, well, if you were used to a single dimension, then, a line is a line. And until you see a line turned into, or multiple lines put together to create something that's a two-dimensional figure or representation. So let's say 4 lines make a square. You might not necessarily, when you see that square, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, I was used to seeing lines. I never thought about how they could be put together and create this dimensional object. And then you take, 6 lines that you would need for how many lines for a cube? Anyway, I'm going to mess it up. But you take more lines and you can create a 3-dimensional object in a cube. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, I probably should have been able to tell that we could take this square and turn it into a cube. But until it was modeled for me, that made sense.
Right.
So that's 3D. We don't really have an idea of a 4th dimension, but the idea that it doesn't exist simply because we haven't found a way to model it is ridiculous.
Right.
Because it's the same as if that 2D object
was the limit. That was
the
it.
limit.
Yeah.
Right. And that applies to space, that applies to belief. That sounds very new world or new age, frou-frou type to a lot of people probably, right? But no,
it's hard science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There don't know what we don't know until we know it. And then it's like, oh shoot.
And then there's still
right.
We don't know no.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's why, man, there's just wonder. And so like you said, what will years look like?
Yeah.
I genuinely have no idea, because I can see where the things we currently have could evolve, higher clarity on TV screens, larger screens in more homes, AI being used in a much more integrated fashion.
Yeah.
Like you said, wireless and that sort of thing. That all makes sense. But man, there might be something we haven't even thought of yet.
Right.
And at the rate that we're moving, I'd almost put money that there's some type of technology that we're using every day in 20 years that we don't have right now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
Something just like, oh, it's brushing their teeth. Like flipping the light switch, walking into a room.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's this example. 100 and some years ago, electricity was going to be the end of humanity.
Right.
It was going to kill everybody, right?
It still might.
Put it out, it's just getting going, right? But now, we don't even think about it. All right. Tesla and oh my gosh, the greatest inventors.
Edison?
Yeah, Edison. Can you forget Edison?
No, it's okay.
Bad. Edison was literally killing elephants to show the people that Tesla's alternating current was bad, right? But Tesla just took the DC, to Edison's invention, and made it better.
Yeah.
So, he was literally using the electrification of an elephant, like to promote, right? To bash. So it caused a lot of fear, and it's hard when you think about it, because back in the day when the first bulbs, there wasn't really a switch. It was just on. And the way you turn it on was screwing in the light bulb.
Wow.
Every time.
That's right. Your lamp lighters in communities when they first were installing street lamps.
Yeah.
That was a job.
That was a job.
Go out and they'd screw in the light bulb. Yeah.
Wild, right? So that meant like electricity was just live all the time. There were no circuits to break it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just on, right? So, I mean, that's
oh yeah.
But we've advanced so much. So we're now, light switch, you don't even think about it.
Right.
Not even a thought.
You don't realize until there's a power outage and you're like,
yes.
You just, it's second nature. We have a,
right.
Duh.
So that's how I believe AI is going to be in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be ingrained, right? So now you take that to the level, and it's already happening. Elon with Neuralink, the chip, which I'm actually put it in. I'm ready to go.
Love it.
I mean, why not? Right? I've done I think I'm doing a lot of what I can do as an organic being, right? Hey, if there's, chip me up, right? Like, come on, let's see what this can do. I'm ready. Elon, you need some test subjects?
Sign them up.
But it's heavy. This boating accident.
Yeah.
Right.
Wasn't he paraplegic?
He's paraplegic, okay. Right. Yeah. So when he's playing video games, he's just thinking about where he wants
it to go, and they actually saw that it would go before he went there because he was already thinking, but before his eyes moved, so that AI in his brain reacted before his eyes could react. Right?
It's wild.
That's
so wild, man. And that technology will work. I mean, the more that they scan our brains and they see what areas are active in certain circumstances, and when we're using critical thinking skills versus instinctual reactions to things, and like those twitch reactions, it's all different. And as they continue to map it and then find ways, it's all electronic impulses, right? And that's how Neuralink is working. I think he's probably going to be the first to have something actually on the market. But there will be competitors. And
for sure.
There's that first one out the gate, and then there are those that are able to take it and iterate on it.
Next level, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like genius of Elon, right? He's doing so many different things that are not being done right now. He is breaking the is, hey, this can be done. We just need to actually go towards it. Right. And all these things he's doing, it's still on his one mission to get to Mars, to go off planet. Because it's only a matter of time. It's inevitable that what we have going on here, our civilization, and whether it's by self-destruction or another, planet killer comes and crashes into it. It's only a matter of time. Right. Not being in our lifetime, but eventually it's probably going to happen. Right. And who knows what human civilization looks like at that point. But for up to Elon, he's already off planet. Right. So take it to the comic world. Right. Elon is like Superman's dad.
I love it. Sending Kal-El to Mars.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild. I admire Elon. What's his name? Tim Urban, the blogger who does Wait But Why, did a long series of interviews with Elon pre any of his involvement with Trump or anything like that, where people think that he lost it.
Yeah.
When he was still just early stages of Tesla, and the stock was rocketing because they were working way better than people anticipated an electric car ever could.
Yeah.
But that's something to look up. Tim Urban, Wait But Why.
Wait But Why?
Yep. Wait But Why. He recently released a book. I want to say the topic of the book was impending civil war, which sounds very doom and gloom.
Oh, wow.
But he analyzed a lot of, and you could argue it's tough. It's all political economics and sociology and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he believes that we are in the most tumultuous stage of our nation's being, but that it's not irreversible.
Right.
And that there are things that we can do to come together and not. It's incredible. It's incredible reading. It's presented in a really awesome way. It's been my inspiration for some blogs that I've produced.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim Urban, Wait But Why, I recommend that you and anybody listening check it out, because and his interviews with Elon are extremely insightful.
Yeah.
It's I think at the time Elon wasn't doing interviews, and he invited Tim to come live with him at Tesla, basically.
Oh, wow.
I think these interviews were conducted around the time that he had made the call that he was going to sleep in his office there at Tesla until they got some milestone completed. And he did. Their headquarters for I think months, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. That's what I love about Elon, man.
Yeah.
When he there were stories when he was first getting going where he was sleeping on friends' couches.
Yeah.
Sergey Brin being one of them, right? The Google founders of Google, right? Elon was literally sleeping on his couch.
It's crazy.
And think about it. There's just this super rich guy. Does have houses all over. I'm not really sure, but but to be dedicated. And then when he was at the White House with Trump, he was sleeping. He was sleeping there. He was there 24/7 to work, to put in work. How can one person so much?
Right.
It's wild. But I think he's somewhere like an alien, right? Joe Rogan calls him an alien.
Oh yeah.
And he's probably the thing we know to an alien. But he's one of those once in a generation type of characters. And I think, I'm getting a lot now But all geniuses do at some point.
They do. And I know people, question the ethics of being a multi-billionaire, right?
Yeah.
That you can't reach that state without taking advantage of people. But I just forever against that wealth. I think this guy has every reason to not contribute any longer.
Yeah.
He could just go hole up somewhere and build a community of his favorite people and never interact with the world again with the wealth that he's accumulated.
Yeah.
But instead, the dude keeps putting his neck out there, literally aligning himself with Trump. That's not
No.
It had been an assassination attempt on Trump very shortly before that allegiance, and then to turn against Trump.
Right.
And the guy is just you have to admire,
even
if you don't, some of his personal quirks, right? That's you don't have to those, you can be upset with him, but
for sure.
But
you can't deny what he's doing.
Can't deny that this dude is contributing crazy value to the human race,
right? Like on an insane level that we've never seen before.
Right.
Like he's the modernist reiteration of Tesla, but with the business sense. Like he's like both combination of Tesla and Edison.
Yeah.
Right, because Edison was a business guy. Right, he was a scientist for sure, no doubt, innovator, brilliant, genius, but he was always also a shrewd businessman. He was a shark, right? So I think Elon is very business. He's a shark, and he makes business decisions on his mission. See, I think that's a great kind of topic right there. What's your purpose? What's your mission? What are you here to do, right? If you stay on that track, what can you accomplish on that track?
Yeah.
You know that in today's world, distraction is the enemy. The Deep Flow formula fuses human performance mastery with AI integration, helping you cut through the chaos, sharpen focus, and get more done in less time. In just one workshop, you'll learn how to turn stress into a repeatable rhythm of high performance, boost your creativity, and achieve clarity on demand. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can apply immediately. Call BAM Ventures, your business sidekick, at 432-247-8841 to step into your flow today.
Yeah, and staying on it, man.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that it has to look the same. Your purpose can mean you can serve through different careers and in different locales.
Yeah.
Your purpose doesn't necessarily have to be, to serve Odessa, Texas, or Midland, Texas. It could be to serve, Biloxi, Mississippi, or whatever, right?
Right.
It could be working in marketing or working in nonprofit and entrepreneurial arenas, or it could be, delivering mail.
Yeah.
But the idea is find your purpose. And that sounds so cheesy.
It does. But
until you actually that you have found your purpose, you don't realize how impactful it is.
Right.
Because I know that before I had an idea of what I'm here to do, I was lost.
Yeah.
And I thought, things were going well. I was climbing the ladder in the banking world and making what I thought was good money at the time. And it felt really cool, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I realized looking back is I was very arrogant, and I probably still am. If we record again in 5 years, I'm probably going to look back at things I said today and be like, dang, that guy didn't know. That guy was clueless. And, but man, finding that just.
Most people cannot answer the question, what's your purpose? I think a very few percent, I think I was told like 2 or 3% of people can answer the question, what's your purpose? So to the very few that can, they understand the power of having purpose.
Yes.
And staying on track with that purpose. Because that becomes, that's why you get up in the morning. That's why you put in the extra hours. That's why you grow, you keep learning. That's why in 5 years, you're going to look back and say, oh, well, why, that guy, who's that guy?
Right.
That's why, right? Because if you're on a purpose, by default, by definition, you have a growth mindset, right? So, the two mindsets.
Growth and scarcity.
Yeah. Yeah. Where, you have a, are you satisfied? Are you okay how things are? Right? You don't want to change anything, right? You're comfortable. That's fine. But then there is another path. It's no, things could be better. What could I don't already know? How can I improve myself so that I can help others improve themselves? Right? How can I contribute to humanity? Not and local is important. Local is so important, right? How can you directly contribute? How is your immediate benefiting off of what you're doing? How are you growing your immediate family? How are you growing your extended family and friends, your circles? How are you impacting your community? But then, like Elon, he's impacting the whole world.
Right. Yeah. His community is mankind.
Right.
Yeah.
So thinking on that level, right? If your purpose can be on any level, right? But I feel that figuring out, and I think everybody knows, but it's hard to articulate it. Like we have a feeling. How do you feeling into that's my purpose?
And I think sometimes people know, or they at least have an inkling of an idea what their purpose is, but there's so many things in their life that they are doing that are out of line with that purpose.
Yeah.
That they refuse to admit to themselves, and especially not to others, that that's their purpose.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so many people, either their lives are cut short and they never actually take that turn and intentionally pursue their purpose.
Yeah.
Or they just live in that state of like willful ignorance of their purpose. They never pursue it. They know that there's more. They know that there's something they're called to, that they were to do.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
And there are things that are easier to do at the end of the day than make moves towards that purpose.
Yeah.
And part of that might be the way that they were raised. They don't realize that they have agency and control over their lives to an extent where they can change their future. Some of it is, education, and sometimes it's capacity. They need somebody and recognize the value that they have. And that's it. Anyway, it's so challenging, and that's, I don't know, that it's hard to watch. You want everybody to be pursuing their purpose,
right?
Because that everyone has.
Yes, everybody has. We're here for a reason. What is that? And like I was talking with Dan Nicholas about this, and everybody is presented with of opportunity, right? That voice in your head that tells you this is who you are, this is your purpose. Now, at that point, free will comes into play, and we have a choice. Do we listen to that voice and become it, or do we ignore it and keep on the path that we're on?
Yeah.
Right. So I think, especially when you're younger, that voice is pretty loud. We get it. But we're so young and ignorant and so self-conscious that me included, most of us will ignore it and no, well, it's safe over here.
Right. Or people are telling you what either they want to see you do,
right,
or they have selected negative things for their life and they want you to do the same so that they don't have to sit and watch what they could have been.
Oh, yeah.
And that hurts because so many of our young people, and that's why it's important to have positive adult influences in the lives of our youth, is that they are so, they're in their malleable stages where the next however many years of their life is going to be determined probably by inputs from around them, the adults that have poured into them and that have loved them, and good peers. Because it's so hard. I mean, I know their youth, regardless of their circumstances, they have that firm idea of their identity and their purpose. And it's incredible to see that,
right? Because
those are the ones that break through and they make something out of nothing. They, started from the bottom, now they're there, right? But unfortunately, they're the
right,
and the majority are steered into a direction by outside sources. And if you're spiritual, then not only do you have other people that are steering in the wrong direction, but they also have the adversary. They have the enemy, basically, who wants to see them not reach their potential, not achieve their purpose, not, do what they were placed here to do.
Right. Because it's so easy to be distracted
So easy.
and get thrown off track.
Dude, the good is the enemy of the best, right? That's,
Yeah.
That's people, there are other we could phrase that to where it's like, oh, done is better than not, right? Or done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
That's true too. But you're presented two choices so often. There's a good choice that's just a little bit easier or just a little bit more tempting than the best choice. And the best is going to pay off down the line. The good's going to be good right now.
Because it's easy.
It's easy.
Right. Last long.
Right there in front of you.
Right. It's like that hit of a dopamine rush. Like, just give it to me right now. It's quick, right?
Yeah.
Where the other path is like, oh, okay, that's going to take a while. That's hard.
Will I ever see that day? Will I even be alive by the time I reap the reward of this seed that I'm sowing, right?
Like Elon. Elon knows he's not going to be alive when we get to Mars. He knows he's not, right? That's not his, that's his goal. He personally is never going to step on Mars, and he knows that.
Yeah.
Right. But he's planting those seeds right now and helping them grow where they're strong and healthy. So by the time he does leave this planet, the structure's there. We have what we need to keep going.
Right. That so many of the things that we enjoy today are built on the backs of people that we were decades, centuries removed from, right?
Yeah.
But it's the seeds that they sowed that we're reaping. And that's something that I think we all have to come to terms with.
Yeah.
We just about everybody that I know, especially in the circles we run around in, your entrepreneurial people, your community-minded people.
Yes.
They care about legacy.
Right.
What am I going to leave behind? What's the lasting impact I'm going to have on my community? And something that you have to come to terms with is, for all the effort that you put in, you were very likely to see very minimal return on that effort.
Yeah.
But none of it is wasted.
Right.
It's going to, in ways unseen, unknown, it's going to impact future generations.
Yeah.
It's going to impact the people around you. That's why, not a word is wasted. Right. And that's a very encouraging thing, especially to those that we were talking earlier, and it feels like you could put so much effort in, but the needle isn't moving. That's the thing to remember, is that none of that effort is wasted.
Yeah.
It might not ever even appear in some of these guys. I don't know if Tesla and Edison are the best examples, but you have, inventors that invented something, but they lived in poverty their entire lives, and they don't realize that now people are reaping the reward for that invention.
Right. For all their work.
Right.
Yeah.
So what, do you know your purpose?
My purpose is to build people, right? To build them into where they can be builders, right? To empower them with the knowledge and skills to become who they're meant to be, right? So I'm just doing that in the entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
But if it was an entrepreneurial space, it'd be a form of empowering you as a person to recognize who you really are.
Yeah.
And who are you, right? So that's my purpose in a general. In the entrepreneurial world is, we're here to build businesses and the people who build businesses.
I love that. And that's so, that's your purpose, because even back to the very first time I met you at the Texas Leadership Forum, where you were working with students. I think you were still a student at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were in Crane's class, maybe. Yeah. And you had that attitude about your peers, and about, like, before you even were in this arena, that was what you were working towards. And so it truly is a reflection of your spirit, not a decision that you made to get into the entrepreneurial. Well, you obviously made that decision,
right?
But what you're doing, could be done in many different arenas. It's just building, like I said, building builders. I like
building builders, man. Yeah. Because I mean that's how humanity grows, right? Like you said, it's so cliche and so cheesy to say, certain things, right? But because I'll make the world a better place. Simple.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. It's cliche.
Beautiful.
Right? But that's what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And I think no matter what arena, that with that mentality, no matter what arena you're gonna to impact is the end goal.
Yeah.
You know. So that's I appreciate you from that from way back when, because I've been a meditation coach for going on 30 years, right? And I've never charged a dime. You know, that's not my. It was always like, and you know, it was mostly I came across somebody who needed to learn, right? They situation out. I was like, oh hey, you know, if you breathe like this is how you breathe. Earlier this week, I was teaching somebody just randomly that I had met.
Yeah.
You know,
You taught me box breathing.
yeah.
Thank you.
Full circle, man.
Yeah, man.
I teach that in my flow, deep flow formula.
That's a huge
class.
thing.
Yeah.
So good for just managing your mood and your anxiety. It's awesome.
It can help back to ground.
Yeah.
Focus. Yeah. Which is so important.
Something before we get too far from the purpose talk and leaving that legacy, there's a book called The Infinite Game that really helped me. I gaming is my hobby, board gaming. I play hundreds, if not 1,000 plus a year.
Oh, wow.
And that's what I'm doing this afternoon with a collaborator. We're meeting up at the Waystone and playing board games and talking business.
Yeah.
And anyway, I am so used to that. You start a game, you see it to its finish, hopefully you win, and you move on to the next game. And it's very, you have that dopamine rush of winning and progressing and that sort of thing. But in life, we will likely not see the end of the majority of the games that we play. Our career will end, but the impact and what we were contributing won't necessarily end. And we won't necessarily, I keep using the harvest and seed analogy, but we won't necessarily reap the reward in our lifetime that we sowed through our career, especially if it's something that is impacting the lives of youth. You know, if somebody is a teacher for decades and they retire at, 78, and that last class isn't in adulthood until they're gone, they're not going to see what impact they made on those kids.
Yeah.
But the impact they made and what it resulted in is entirely real, intangible. But the infinite game, it's reframing your expectations, your inputs, so you aren't frustrated when you don't see the end result of something that you've done.
Yeah.
It's that life, career, really any endeavor that you seek, yes, there are tangible closures, but for the most part, life itself is this infinite game that we're playing. And it's a really great thing, especially when you feel like you're getting burnt out or that you've just been slamming your head against the wall time and again and things aren't changing. The idea that there isn't supposed to be an end to what we're doing is so liberating. So I recommend, it's kind of but it's probably not the right read for a lot of people. So at the very least, look up a summary of if you're using chat, ask it to summarize for you.
Yeah.
Give me the key takeaways.
Yes, sir.
But seriously, that's one of the most motivating things that I've read in years, because I want to see it come to fruition. I want to see the fruits of my life, but that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
For a lot of things.
Yeah.
You have to come to terms with it. And that's along with your purpose. You don't want to steer away from your purpose, because your purpose is for more than you're seeing in this lifetime.
Yes.
And sometimes people, I think, because they aren't going to get that instant gratification from pursuing their purpose, they settle for something less.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you, do you know your purpose?
I believe I do. Yeah. And it's really, I would have laughed at that question years ago, but truly in a very, just to ensure that my have the best life that they possibly can from what I can control, right? There are always going to be circumstances, but it's to be a good father. That's essentially number one. But also on that same level, and really, if I'm being honest, at a higher level, is to reflect the love and the light of Christ with the people around me.
Yeah.
And that's just really, really, in everybody's relationship, our creator evolves at a different rate. And there are milestones in their life. And there are times where, we're all at different stages in our journey. And so sometimes I'm not very straightforward with it. I don't go out, proselytize and evangelize, right? But I want, through the actions that I take and the way that I conduct myself, for people to recognize like, oh wait, yeah, Ryan's Christian. That's awesome. And he's the right things, or he's at least trying to do the right things, because I make plenty of mistakes.
Yeah.
And lose my temper and do all the things, right?
Right.
But I want them to be able to see him through in some form. And I want to be able to connect them with him in a meaningful, and that doesn't necessarily mean, handing them a Bible. It just means that, I don't know, I want them to be encouraged.
Yeah.
To know that they aren't alone in this universe, that they do have purpose, because without that connection, creator, even if you have all of the right blocks, there's just this key element missing. It's like you've got the battery, but there's not energy in it yet. And yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like I have a lot of friends with a lot of different faiths.
Yeah.
And I truly believe this Christ is the Messiah, and that he is the way. But yeah, that's my purpose, is to, as cheesy as it is too, man, is to be a good man.
Yeah.
And to model good behavior to, I really, and maybe it's because my parents are teachers and because I've just always loved kids. I want to model that to children. Am I doing that in any real way? Not really, aside from raising my daughters. Spend a whole lot of time with like the youth group at our church or anything like that. Or but maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
But I want to see future generations just know that they are here. They were intentionally, beautifully made and placed here to accomplish a purpose, like you were just saying.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's passing the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you talked about lights and prisms earlier. You to circle back to the very beginning when you were talking about your logo as your prism. If I can mold myself into more of a reflective surface for our creator's light and love, that's my purpose, is just do more and then see that, like envisioning just, this prism of light going out. And if people who were originally dull can find that relationship and become lights themselves, that's like the beautiful, if I could see that picture at the end of life.
So I think you and I purpose are too different.
Not at all, dude. It's basically the exact
same thing, man.
Yeah.
Well, also, I think of a better place to wrap it up, man. Do you have anything else that you'd like to tell our listeners?
Oh, man.
Especially the ones who stayed all the way through.
Yeah. Just grateful for you spending time listening to Angel and me. Your time is so valuable. And I hope that something that we said today sparked a light in you, and that you can take it and do awesome things. Yeah. That's the purpose of this podcast.
That's what it is.
Of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take it on.
Amen.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Hey, we're out. See you on the next one.